don't come after, Ivanka is, it's
but
the
yet
same kind of thing.
You didn't protect Michelle. You didn't protect Michelle Obama. You called her as many names as you could find. You embarrassed her. You didn't like her arms, but this chick is able to be a freak. Do the hell. She basically was, I don't know how many porno, whatever. She looked like she was a porn star. And she is a illegal immigrant.
Who are you talking about? Melania?
Well, yeah, you're talking about Melania.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like there are so many people in that realm that could have described. I wasn't quite sure.
Well, with Melania, I mean, she was saying, they didn't protect, they said they're going to, Ivanka, they're going to protect, but you didn't protect, Michelle Obama or even her daughters. They did everything they could to destroy
Well, yeah, but that's partially because they had the temerity to be black.
Yeah.
How dare they?
Are you calling them Are you calling people racist?
I might be saying the Republicans have kind of a racist bent to them.
Oh, what?
I'm
You're going to get in trouble,
MAGA.
You're going to get in trouble, Dave. You can't say that. You're going to get in trouble.
I'm all right with that.
Okay.
I can live with that decision.
Oh, David, by the way, did you hear that sound after the White House Correspondents' Dinner? It was a collective gasp when a woman refuses to apologize.
Yeah.
Oh, the next day when she was saying, I don't take back anything that I said.
Wow.
Nope.
It was
No,
What?
but also,
I don't want to say unprecedented, but
They wanted her
I
fired.
don't recall.
They wanted her fired.
Yeah,
It's
fire
also
her from
it's also
comedy?
the faux outrage. I honestly I think we can we can't just blame Republicans. Like it's the establishment, and I know I sound like one of those hippie the establishment people, the man. But I really do believe it is that. Like when you're looking at the people at that dinner in their in their finery and they're reacting to these jokes, it's that. Oh my!
Well,
they're
clutch my
so
pearls.
yeah, exactly. It's such this faux outrage for somebody telling the truth, whatever side all these people are on. That's what it is. It's the truth teller, and that's what comedy is. So thank God she didn't apologize.
That goes
because
back to
that's
what
she's
Katie
supposed
was
to do.
saying. About how everyone focused on the jokes about Sarah Huckabee Sanders, and I think part of the reason of that is because if the gathered White House press corps actually addressed Michelle Wolf's jokes about the press not doing their jobs, which is how we wound up where we are, that would just draw more attention to the fact that they aren't doing their jobs.
Yeah.
That the Fourth Estate is a bought and paid for arm of the federal government.
Yeah.
I wasn't bothered by anything Michelle Wolf had to say. I was probably more bothered with Larry Wilmore when he did the whole Obama my nigga 100. That bothered me because I don't want you ever putting that word in that guy in the same thing. Leave that in the street. What she said, hey, she was right on. She went down the line. Hey, love her or hate her, she spoke out. She was on her soapbox, and hey, you invited her. You want me to speak? Yeah. Guess what? I got something for your ass. Here it comes. Boom.
Well, that's the other thing is the folks who throw the dinner, put out an apology letter the next day, and it's like really.
What I don't understand is
The
did they not?
hypocrisy.
I don't understand. I've worked on a lot of TV shows, and you take a look at the content before it goes to air.
Exactly.
And I don't understand, did they
Right.
not get a copy in advance, or did they give them a fake copy and then
Right.
then she just threw it out and
Right.
she's like, let's
See,
ride,
that's- no,
motherfuckers.
no.
I honestly
I'm
don't know
sure
what
that's
happened.
what
whatever
I don't-
she says is going to be fine.
Well, no,
just
and
let her go.
I totally was thinking of that as well. This could not have been the first time nobody else heard this copy. This had to have been approved, and not for nothing. Was she the only person who wrote it?
Right.
I can't imagine. I mean,
Look.
I'm assuming there were there was a phalanx of people that were involved in this that knew what was going on, and and I'm not blaming them, but like she's the one that gets completely and solely thrown under the bus. I mean, and held responsible.
When you
What
do
about the producers?
Right. When you do corporate events, and that was definitely a corporate event, they always say to you, hey, you always ask this comedian, hey, is there anything I cannot say or blah, blah, blah. Definitely no F-bombs. They always tell you, stay within this thing. Now, they had to have approved what this woman said. They knew what was coming. If they didn't, hey, It's there. She did not use any F-bombs. She didn't use any profanity. She just, within her, and she did it very intellectually and lit him up.
Maybe that's the problem, that a woman had the gall to be intellectual in Washington, D.C.
Right. I mean, you could have had Eddie Griffin there, and hell, what are you going to do with that?
Yeah, I think it was just so incisive and so truthful that people couldn't handle it. I mean, that's really what I think it was. And it's not even political. It's the truth.
I mean, but you know what? A lot of times, and like you said, it was political. I don't think a lot of times it's about...
I don't think it was that political, though. That's my point. She attacked both sides pretty much, not on equal measure, but she came after CNN. She went after MSNBC. I mean,
I just
think a lot of times, I mean, I give her credit for standing upon her soapbox. Everything is not always what they forget about comedians. Comedians are very smart people. They read and they pay attention, and we are like preachers and motivational speakers. We're this, and when we step up and you give us our soapbox, we're going to light into your ass. And she let loose.
We are outsiders.
Right.
We are outsiders on many levels, and it is our job to be the commentators of, and to contradict the status quo. That's what we do.
Right, and which is the reason why we say the things that other people are thinking about saying or want to say and never come out. That's why people always are. If you meet a comedian, they always think they're always on, and it's like, no, we're not. Most comedians are very serious people.
Oh, serious. They're suicidal.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, they've had some type of PTSD, and they're also
childhood.
Yes, and well, they said, we hear that most geniuses talk to themselves. Well, a lot of comedians probably sit at home and love that piece, and they talk to themselves.
Well, hell, a lot of us go out to coffee houses and talk to ourselves.
And write our material.
Just because no one else is there.
We'll write our material from talking to ourselves. Like, especially if I've gotten off work and I get to my apartment, I'm like, yes. And all of a sudden, I'm having my conversation. I'm talking. and you write all kinds of material or, about what went on. And that's the same thing. And that's what you're going to end up taking to the stage. Because that voice is the one. This is who you are. So I think what Wolf did was just what's probably been on her mind a while.
And my favorite part about it actually is when she went after the press to their faces, and she said something. I can't remember. I watched it when it happened, but I haven't watched it since. Something about that they love Trump like an abusive boyfriend or something because you just keep you want him back. You just want him because you love him. I mean, it couldn't be more true.
Yeah.
Well, and when she said, he's selling newspapers, he's getting people to tune in. You guys love having him.
Absolutely. That's why he got elected.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
He got elected because he sold, because you couldn't turn away. I could because I just couldn't even watch him, and I still can't. But most people couldn't because you didn't know what was going to come out of his mouth.
Right.
He sold airtime.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned like an abused boyfriend, and there was in my neighborhood in Denver, a guy used to whistle. He was an abusive boyfriend. You could hear him coming around the corner whistling, going to kick his girlfriend's ass. Da-da-da-da-da. He'd be singing, and he'd go out. Next, he'd go in the house, and boom, boom, boom. Next, out there out in the front yard, and all of a sudden, and she'd be screaming, "Call the police! Somebody call us!" And my neighbor would come out with a shotgun. He'd be standing in his polka dot boxers, and he said, "No, bitch, you're gonna take that ass whooping this time. I called the cops last time. You kicked everybody's ass. No. Get one for me. I'm sorry." And he'd go back in his house. This would happen every week. So I get you.
Jesus. Stories.
Yeah.
So are we great again yet?
Yeah. Are we great? Oh, my God, no. I don't even understand. What is that? Make America great again. Just to ask the question, when you hear that, what do you think of when you hear someone say that? Were we ever...
I think of the lynching museum.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What are your...
I think of the 50s where, we were, women were oppressed, they had Jim Crow and, what else? I mean, when were we ever great? I mean, we are we are a young country. We're a work in progress. There was never any, we are moving away from a horrific history. So there was no great before. There's still no great. But what the fuck does great again mean? No, It's ridiculous.
I always wanted to ask people, what do you think he means by that? Is there something that happened?
It's no conscious thought. This is, again, it appeals to an emotional thing in people who don't have the ability to be critically thinking.
Katie,
it's deliberately...
it's evocative on some level.
It's a direct response to the fear when the census came out that showed, like, within 40 years or whatever the number was, that it's going to be a country of color rather than majority white.
That's right.
That's all it is.
That's exactly what it is.
That's all it is.
Right. So you definitely putting out as a selling of fear.
You're right.
A selling of fear.
Oh, hell yeah.
Right. Which
That's
is
all
what,
these people. That's what all these people.
Is that your feeling on the selling of immigration?
Everything.
Everything.
It's all fear.
One of the big stories in the news this week was the caravan of immigrants finally made it to the border, and a large number of the immigrants are from Honduras. There is a significant number of Honduran immigrants who've been in the country for the last 20 years because we let them in after Honduras was devastated by a hurricane. And this week, the Trump administration determined that, hurricanes aren't really a problem, so we're rescinding your status, your protected status. Y'all got to go back. As there are people who are coming from Honduras because of the violence, because of the gangs, because of the drugs, and I was just picturing, someone in the intake office saying, "Okay, now let's see. You say you're coming from Honduras and you're requesting asylum because there's violence and gangs and drugs and you feel that your life and the life of your family would be threatened if you were to go back there." Yeah, that's right. And where are you from? Well, I'm from Honduras. Yeah, there's a lot of drugs and gangs back there. I just can't take the risk that you're not one of those people. So we're not going to let you in. We're just going to send you back. Yeah. It's just this bizarre circular logic that makes no sense. But if you leave it open to interpretation, like MAGA, you ask, what does that mean? It doesn't mean anything. But to each individual who believes in it, who interprets it as what it means to them. And that's what's being promised. Right. It's like everything with Trump. I don't want to give out the details. I don't want people to know, oh, by the way, we're going to be sending planes and the smartest missiles ever to Syria next week. I don't want to telegraph my actions. Right. The man constantly contradicts himself while not actually being specific about anything. Mm-hmm. One of the great statements from his speech to the NRA this week: "Your Second Amendment rights are under siege, but they will never be under siege as long as I'm president." Well,
you are.
You are president. So, which one of those is true? I don't know. Pick the one that works best for your agenda and run with it. I don't need to make. I'm busy. I'm the president. I have golfing to do. I don't have time to make those decisions and clarify
he knows
things.
He doesn't. But he doesn't want to.
Yeah,
I mean, he knows he is
that's
appealing to an instinct in people, and he knows who his base is. He's been very good at appealing to that, based on fear of the changing population, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and it works. So nobody is questioning it of his base. So it's almost pointless for us to pick those things apart, because it's an exercise in futility. We call him stupid. He's not stupid. I mean, he knows how to appeal to the people who are of a certain,
Well, and those are those people who have a lack of knowledge. Those people who do not. He
does like the uneducated.
Right. He loves the people because. That has been when you talked about the people of the 50s. I played golf with guys who were saying they should just give him a chance. I mean, pull yourself up by the bootstraps, and what is it? Why we got a bullet train when we know that
But it's not a lack of knowledge, though. It's protecting their own self-interest. It's a fear of losing a certain level of privilege. And, that's really what it is. I don't even think it's a lack of knowledge.
Well,
People, there's so much information. If you want to know what happened in this country, you can find that information. But you don't want to know that.
It's more a willful ignorance.
That's what it is.
Than a